Hello, everyone. Good morning, afternoon, evening. Dear authors and invited guests, welcome to Technical Session 2C. Am I clearly audible? Can someone just confirm?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you, sir. Yes, myself, Priyanshi Goyal, and in this session, this will be moderated by me. On behalf of Global Knowledge Research Foundation and GR Scholastic LLP, it is my great pleasure to welcome you to the International Conference on Machine and Computing Technologies for Sustainable Development, MCT4SD 2025, Manila, Philippines. The conference is being organized in a hybrid mode. The physical event was held yesterday in Manila, Philippines, and the virtual event is being held through Zoom today and tomorrow, that is 12th and 13th of December 2025. I hope you will enjoy the knowledgeable and interactive sessions through the day. In this session, we have 8 presentations. Each presenter will be given 12 minutes for the presentations and 3 minutes for question and answers. On 10 minutes, I'll raise a gentle reminder. There's another request to all the participants that you all stay connected with us till the closing remarks. If you have any query or update, then you can write it to me in the chat box. Just before we start the session, I would like to introduce you all to the chair for this session, Dr. Ajay Kumar Sharma. Happy to have you here with us, sir. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you.
Dr. Ajay is professor and MTech program head at Gitanjali Institute of Technical Studies, Jaipur. And I would just like to request sir to share some welcome remarks and help us start the session.
Sure, ma'am. Sure, sure. Thank you. A very good morning to all. I think it's my honor and pleasure to welcome you to the session of International Conference on Machine and Computing Technologies for Sustainable Development. We are gathered here today. Shared purpose means to say that to explore innovative ideas, cutting edge research, and emerging technologies. First, I extend my warm greeting to all the presenters who have joined us for various institutes and research communities. Your valuable contribution form the core of this conference. I would like to express my sincere appreciation to the Conference Advisory Committee Chair, whose vision and guidance have shaped the structure and direction of this conference. A heartfelt thank to our conference secretary and technical program committee. Your planning, your coordinations, dedication for reviewing papers made this event possible. At this moment, I would like to place uh, on record our special, profound gratitude to our International Conference Chair, Dr. Amit Joshi sir. His leadership, commitment, and unwavering support. Thank you, Dr. Joshi sir, for inspiring all of us. Lastly, I would extend my sincere thanks to the moderator of this session for this effort in ensuring smooth proceedings and effective engagement throughout this session. With this, I once again welcome you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Um, just a second. Yes, thank you so much, sir. Now, without further ado, I would like to start this session calling up the first presenter today, um, Miss Ravina, uh, to present her paper titled An Integrated Spatio-Temporal Feature-Based Approach for Robust Deepfake Detection. Do we have you here with us, Miss Ravina? Are any of the teammates present? Since no one is responding, I'll be moving forward to the next presenter. I would like to request Sir Mehzabul Haq Naik to kindly present his paper titled Blockchain Adoption Determinants in Bangladesh's GI certified fruit supply chains. Do we have you here with us, sir?
Hi, am I audible? So Sir is right now trying to join us, but I think he needs 30 or 40 more seconds. Can we wait 40 more seconds for him if that's possible?
I think no issue.
Sure. No
Okay,
issues.
thank you very much.
Right. We'll just wait for him to join.
The Sir is with us right now, so if Knight Sir can go ahead and present his screen.
Uh,
Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. We'll just stop sharing the screen now.
Okay.
Yeah. Dharmik, if you can
So
just
am
stop
I
sharing.
audible, ma'am? No.
Yes, 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 sir. You're audible. You can now share your screen.
Yeah. Thank you. So you can see my screen? Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
sir. Your screen is visible. You may start.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. So we are going to present the paper that's blockchain adoption determinants in Bangladesh's GI certificate fruit supply chains. So I'm working as a senior assistant professor in American International University in Bangladesh. So the blockchain technology, as we understand, it's a developing and viable solutions to provide a decentralized, temper-resistant, and transparent system that potentially revolutionized and in tracking and verification of food items and like from their origins to the customer's table. So it is getting like quite popular in the agriculture these days, like for product tracking, certification, fair trade assurance, and compliance verification sort of things. In also in developing regions as well. So like, there are some technical obstacles, obviously, and organizational preparedness issues and external influences are there also, which actually impacts on the adoption of blockchain. And there are many studies has been conducted on these issues, like to understand it better, so that the industry can adapt it like more easily. So the research question, we have got two research questions for our studies. First one is like, which theoretical lens is based explains the blockchain enable value creation issues for the fruit supplies, but like we only concentrated on the GI certified fruits supply chain businesses, like not the other fruits, and like how do human, organizational, and technological factors actually influence the intentions to adopt blockchain for these GI certified food supply chain. The reason is like the reason why we pick GI certified fruits only, because uh, the GI certified fruit has an authentication things, like this is their whole purposes of like market it, like the origin of the fruit and like how it like why the customers prefers it. So because of that, those businesses who is actually involved with this fruit, they are very much keen to show the end customer that they are authentic and everything. So that's why those type of businesses in our country actually in like they are more interested to use blockchain than the other things. So there are few studies has been conducted on that, such as like utilization of blockchain in agri food supply chain. So started like the traction in post 2015, I'd say. And like the reason is the problem that that occurred in the market, such as like fruit fraud, traceability issues, and supply chain inefficiency. So casino and the few other like researchers, they have conducted a study on that in 2019 and 2020. There was another studies has happened like the blockchain technologies reliability and transparency issues that we also included in our study. And there are various developing nations, like there were another studies has been conducted in 2022. So that is also based on TOE framework, and they studied on the technological obstacle in in infrastructure and regulatory issues to understand like why the blockchain has been adopted or not. So this is the conceptual framework that we have developed for our study. And in the conceptual framework, there's, as you can see, that we have seven hypotheses, like prior technology usefulness, perceived usefulness, complexity, compatibility, IT readiness, vendor support. And the mediating variable that we have used is the adoption intention, and like the ultimate dependent variable is like the post blockchain adoption performances. Like from this conceptual framework, as you can understand, that we only considered the business and for our responses, like the people who already like they adopted blockchain, and we wanted to see like what is their post adoption thing, like how satisfied they are. So the prior technology experience is a variable that we have used uh, for our study, and the hypothesis that like we put, like we believed like this one has a significant positive effect on the blockchain adoption intention. And there are like few previous studies that has happened, like in many studies researchers has used this construct to understand like whether this one has any impact or not. As we can see, we have used one over here. In our actual paper, we put quite a few other references as well. So this is one. And so the in tourism sector already, this is a quite a established construct to understand like the blockchain adoption there. And then it comes with the perceived usefulness, like it is a factor that comes from technology adoption model, UTAT, and in many other like the technology acceptance frameworks. So it is a very popular one. It was also there in the theory of diffusion. Uh, theory of like technology diffusion models. So in agri food supply chain, so this is already an established variable. So in many studies, researchers has used it. And then comes with the complexity is for blockchain, like all the disruptive technologies like blockchain, RFID, and AI. So in those fields, and also so ERP, so this is a established variable. Like many in many other researches, they have tried complexity, and it is a quite established one. The many studies has proved that it has a positive relation with the and with the outcome of that technology adoption. So and sometimes it's negative as well. So it means like it, if it is more complex the system, and then there is a less chances of adoption on that. And on the opposite of complexity is ease of use. So if it is easy to use, then obviously the businesses are more keen to actually adopt this one. So after that, compatibility is another one, like how compatible that technology is with the existing legacy system or with the existing system that they had. So so in this, that is another hypothesis that we have put. We believe that through the background studies, like compatibility positively influence the blockchain adoption intention. So in many studies also support that. And then comes with the IT readiness of the organization, like how they're ready. And we believe that through many other studies that it has a positive impact with the with the adoption outcome of for any technology. So then comes with the vendor support, so we also believe that positively influence the blockchain adoption intention. So in one of our early studies that we also conducted with the blockchain's impact with the educational, blockchain's impact with the agricultural sector. So we also have seen in our another previous studies that it has a positive relation. And also in many other studies, vendor support is also very popular and widely used construct for the technology organizational and environmental framework in the TOE framework. So and the last one is the post blockchain adoption intention, which we believe positively affects the uh, uh, blo- blockchain's performance on GI's
Cross
Yes.
the 10 minutes mark.
Okay. Shall I take over?
Yeah, you can take over and I think just conclude because you've already crossed the 10-minute mark.
Okay. Okay. Then I'll just briefly introduce the findings. Just let me share my screen, please.
I believe I'm audible now.
Yes, yes, yes.
So
Yes,
I'm
you are audible.
Audible.
Okay, I won't share that.
because of my internet. So we use a deductive approach and we use questionnaire survey, and our study population is the local
So
actors
your screen,
who is
I'm
in
sorry,
Bangladesh is
your screen isn't visible and you have already crossed the 10
okay.
minutes mark. So I would request you to kindly conclude.
Yes, madam. So we took like 250 datas, and the result, as you can see from here, like from our study, so our validity and reliability markers are very good. So it is above 7 in most of the cases, and the hypothesis that we have used over here, these are like all the hypothesis has been supported with the flying colors, and F square, T statistics, P values, these are all like supported. And as a conclusion, that we'd like to say, like we have highlighted the need of digital infrastructure and training program for farmers. So these are the practical implementation of this. And also like we have contributed in the HOT framework, like human organizational technology framework. So our variables like that we have tried in our framework, so that is also supported by our data. So because of that time I actually could not elaborate all. So this is the what it says, like the construct and instrument that we have used for studies. So that's it. So if you have any questions, this one.
Hello.
Yes, sir, I can hear you.
My question is that how blockchain improve traceability and authenticity in GI certified food compared to traditional system?
Oh, so actually it added a lot of value in terms of like whenever the farmers and everyone they have used, the reason they have also adapted more on this one is because suppose say for an example what fertilizer they have used. So especially in the it can be traced, like their end consumer can also you can convince them that we this is GMO or this is not GMO, and like the fertilizer they have used, which environment that fruit actually grew, and so all the qualities that it is saying that this is this particular fruit brand, like say for an example for mango, this is like in our country this is like Langra brand of mango or some other brand. So it can like if it is whenever it puts in a blockchain, so they can actually convince the consumer who actually lives in New York or in Tokyo, so people from Bangladeshi origins, and the product is authentic. So this is the first thing. And also during the supply chain, like whenever you apply blockchain for like these businesses, so uh, like the fruit was kept in a proper temperature or not. So all these things, like everything that is included, which goes with the trust. So this can be proved, or like this is the way they can convince the end consumer better that you know it is authenticated. So in that way, like it has also, it is very expensive technology. So obviously the value has been added. The price was like more for those products which actually used in a blockchain, but for the export market, that was worth it for them.
Any research method you use?
Sir, it is like we have used a very simple deductive approaches, but we did purposive sampling on that. Like we didn't do probability sampling because we don't have in our country. There is no single database. You will never find it anywhere, neither online or offline. Like which actually shows like these are the people are using blockchain, and these are, so that's why we had to go with the purposive sampling. And we used smart PLS to analyze our data.
What is the size of sample size?
It is 250 because that like not many, like in the population size is very small. Like in our country there is only two companies who actually provide the blockchain solution. So we went to those companies and we went to the clients. So the number of clients is actually all the people like involved within the blockchain and everything, it is like around 2000. But our country is like 20 crores people, but 2000 is compared to them is very very small. And so that's why our sample size is, so that is also we put in the limitations. So we wish we could have like more, um, you know uh, the sample size would be better, then it would be better for us, but it
Last
is.
question is that my any major barrier in blockchain adoption in Bangladesh fruit simple.
Yes, yes. From our study, as you can see, the major barriers is actually in our conceptual framework is the IT readiness. This is a very major barrier, and also the complexity as well. Like people, many the adapters, they also feel that the technology is very complex, and it sometimes is not also compatible. And vendor support is also very important thing. Like there are two companies, as I have said, they only provide services to the end user. So it's not necessarily always they are very happy with that. So that's why our hypothesis also actually came positive, because like whenever they say IT readiness is not there, so that's why their post blockchain adoption was also not like very good. So whenever they are saying in the IT readiness, they are not strongly disagrees. So they also strongly disagrees with the post blockchain issues as well. So that's the main barriers. Like through our as our result, as you can see that the path coefficient. So complexity is negative, as you can see, like because they are thinking that it is negative. So the path from the path coefficient, as you can see, these are also indicates very strong relations. So the most strong relation is uh, between the dependent variable and mediating variable. So it is like around 7, and the other one is but it is also very very significant. Like point 2 is very significant, it has a strong relation, as you can see from our studies.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Ms. Abul, sir. Can you just stop presenting?
Yeah, sure, madam.
Okay, okay. I just did. Yes. Next up, I would like to invite Ms. Haripriya R to kindly present her paper titled Edge AI and Fuzzy Logic Framework for Adaptive Traffic Signal Control using Real-Time Video and IoT Sensors. Do we have you here with us, ma'am? If anyone else from the team present? Um, since I'm not getting a response, I'll be moving forward. Next up, I would like to uh, call Hector Rafael Morano Okonu to kindly present his paper titled Exploring How Computational Fluid Dynamics Simulations Can Help with Intelligent Sustainable Systems. Do we have you here with us, sir?
Yes, here.
Okay, hi.
Yes. Hi.
I'll just stop sharing so you can present your screen.
Okay. Yes. Okay.
Yes, your screen is visible and you're audible. You may start.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm Hector Morano. I work for Tecnológico de Monterrey in Mexico. So the title of this presentation is Exploring How Computational Fluid Dynamics Simulations Can Help with Intelligent Sustainable Systems. So this is the agenda I'm going to follow. First, I will provide a brief introduction to the article. Then I will mention the objectives of this work. Subsequently, I will describe the methodology that we use. And finally, I will share the conclusions and future work. So the growing focus on sustainability highlights the need to use resources efficiently, whether energy, natural resources, or economic resources, or just the time people invest in daily activities. So this is especially relevant in the air distribution of HVAC systems. HVAC system stands for heating, ventilation, and air conditioning systems. So in this type of system, must maintain relevant control ventilation to support occupant comfort and health. So in this article, we explore how computational fluid dynamic simulations help optimize airflow distribution in HVAC systems just by analyzing variations in room conditions, such as door openings that users may not always notice, but that significantly influence airflow behaviors. So the use of CFD simulations enabled experimentation with complex scenarios that don't require real manufacturing, thereby impacting sustainability from the outset. So for this work, the research question was, how can CFD simulations help intelligent sustainable systems achieve efficient HVAC system use? So to solve this question, the objectives of this work were to explore whether CFD simulations provide relevant information to assist intelligent sustainable systems in the efficient use of HVAC systems. And the second objective was to determine whether the information provided by CFD simulations can be used in adaptive control system to improve HVAC systems efficiency. Uh, to meet these objectives, a case study was proposed, consisted of a closed room with two doors and a central air inlet with two branches inside. The external dimension of the base were 2,000 per 10,000 millimeters and a height of 4,000 millimeters. So we can see in figure 2 the case study. The computing resources used were workstations with an Intel Xeon processor at 4 gigahertz with 32 gigabytes of RAM. The CFD software used was ANSYS Fluent 2024 Release 1, since it is the computational tool that the university has. Also, we use SolidWorks 2024 for modeling the room and air ducts. The methodology consisted of a sequence of steps necessary to meet the research objectives. So in figure 3, we can see the methodology that we use. The simulation aimed to obtain the air pressure and velocity in the room and the ducts to determine whether this magnitude could be used to implement adaptive control to regulate them and make the system more efficient in response to airflow demand. So the room and ducts were modeled using SolidWorks 2024. So the duct material was aluminum 6061, and the room model was exported to ANSYS Fluent, and the enclosure and the duct air volumes were obtained using its space claim tool. It was then exported to ANSYS Workbench for meshing. The boundary conditions were then assigned, and the air inlet velocity was 8 meters per second under atmospheric condition, and the duct roughness was 0.001 meters, and a model was used to simulate a turbulent flow. So we can, we have to name different boundary conditions for the case study. So the CFD post tool in ANSYS Workbench was used to visualize and interpret the results. And the objective was to visualize the airflow velocity and pressures on the room walls and ducts, and to implement adaptive control. Pressure or velocity sensors would need to be installed to monitor the airflow conditions. And we will refer to these readings as mean value because the air inlet pressure and the room are at atmospheric pressure. The pressure distribution in the ducts and the room will be relatively low. So the parameter to be used in adaptive control will be velocity. And to maintain ideal airflow conditions, a reference speed value would be set, which establish the conditions for person satisfaction. And we will designate this value as target speed to control the airflow speed. So the adaptive controller will need a control action. So it increase or decrease airflow speed by 10%. And we will call the speed readings obtained by the sensor mean speed. So these parameters would be used to establish the decision logic for our adaptive control. So in figure 7, we can see the decision logic adaptive control, which represent the energy efficient control and the core of the intelligent sustainable system. Now the sensing environment measure the mean speed, and through the A-based reasoning compares it with the target and the adaptive flow. So all this is the control mechanism, adjusting fan power and tracking the error reduction and energy optimization, as well as reducing energy use over time. So the adaptive control characteristics are shown in this table too. So initially, the air pressure distribution was displayed over the duct, as shown in this figure 8, and then over the room walls. It is observed that the pressure value in both cases don't vary much, so ranging from -10 to 59 Pascal. So the pressure on the room walls appear very uniform, which would not help detect changes through the room. It confirms that the assertion made when selecting the velocity variable for adaptive control as it varies more along the docks and across the room. So we can see this figure 10. So the range was from 0 to 16.59 meters per second. And also we can see the vector distribution of airflow velocity in the ducts and the room. So it can be seen how the velocity enters the duct at 8 meters per second as specified in the boundary conditions, and also decreases as it exits the ducts and approaches the doors. Additional, we can see vortices on the size of the room. So these velocity variations can be used to define the mean speed in adaptive control. So here we have the conclusions. The first one is that information from CFD simulation of HVAC systems can be used in intelligent sustainable systems. Also, using this information from this type of simulation can help to the adaptive control systems to implement and improve HVAC system efficiency. And the last one is that the more complex the room conditions, such as size, number of windows, or the movement of people, just to name some of them, the greater the computational resources required to run this type of simulations. As future work, we distinguish the following tasks. The first one is that we suggest that running these additional simulations under different conditions, such as doors and windows in various positions, some closed, other open, and varying the inlet in air velocity to study airflow behavior. So furthermore, we recommend implementing more complex adaptive control using, for example, the different simulation as control parameters. It is also recommended to explore the use of machine learning tools just to train this with this type of simulation to predict a greater number of airflow behaviors. So that's it. Thank you very much.
Nice presentations, sir. Nice presentations. Hello.
Yes.
Nice presentations, sir. Nice presentation.
Thank you.
Any model you use in your CFD simulations?
We call it key omega for turbulent flow.
Turbulence models.
Yes, turbulent models.
Okay. Question is that one more question is there. How can CFD output can be integrated into intelligent system such as AI optimizer, IoT-based adoption controller, or something?
Well, with this type of simulations, we can run several simulations, and with that information, we can create a database, and with that database, we can know the behavior or of the airflow that we inject in the room. So with those parameters, we can change the direction of the air inside the room, and we can also control the direction, velocity, or also the temperature of the air. And with those parameters, we can have more efficient systems to move the air inside the room. With that information, with that database, we can program a neural network to be trained with that information, and that neural network could be able to manage the air inside the room and control all those parameters. And the people inside the room could feel better conditions.
One more question is that in what way can CFD contribute directly to the sustainability goal, such as energy efficiency, emission reductions, or something?
Yes, because now we have different simulations. We know how the air is going to move inside the room, and we can control the movement of the air inside the room. In the actual HVAC systems, we just turn on the system and we feel the air uh, around people. Uh, but now with these types of simulations, we can change the direction of the air depending of the parameters, depending if the people move or change their positions. So we can regulate the efficient of the electricity or the energy with this type of systems.
Any current limitations of these projects, your projects?
The limitations, well, we depend of the computational resources. If we model more complex rooms, we will need more computational resources.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Ah, you're very welcome. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir, for your presentation. Moving forward, I would like to invite Sir Shubhashisa Sahu to kindly present his paper titled HAR Former, Times Former Model for IMU-based Human Activity Recognition for Exoskeletons. Do we have you here with us, sir?
Yeah. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah.
I'll just stop sharing.
My screen is shared.
Yes, sir, your screen is visible. Can you please put it in presentation mode? Yes.
Yeah. If I
Yes, you may start.
yeah. Yeah. Good morning. Myself, Subhasis Sahu. I am the co-author of this paper, and the main author of this paper is Samiranjan Mahanti. He has also joined to address any specific queries regarding this paper. And the title of our paper is HR Farmer, a transformer model for IMO-based human activity recognition for exoskeletons. Basically, this study presents a transformer-based architecture for human activity recognition using IMU initial inertial measurement unit data, demonstrating its effectiveness compared to the traditional methods. So the presentation outline will be as follows. I will give a brief introduction about the exoskeletons and its uses. Then what is the motivation behind it, and then the problem formulation, methodology to find it, and then the experimentation about the data sets, baselines, matrices, results, and conclusion and future work. So coming to the exoskeleton, basically an exoskeleton is a wearable device that used by both healthy and unhealthy persons to assist mobility and to increase strength and mobility. So various applications of exoskeletons includes like daily activities, factory work for healthy persons, and also for unhealthy persons it is used for recovery and rehabilitation after injuries. So basically the exoskeleton it is a wearable robot that can be used by the both the persons. So it has like motors, computers, sensors, all this. So with the motors there are to control these motors, there are layered of control architectures that will help to assist the human. So basically, this when there will be no brain interface, only sensors is the IMU to help the human. So in that case, what happens? It is basically important to how the activities are going on, whether the person is walking, sitting, or running. Based on that, it will help the motors send the commands to the motors accordingly, so that it will give the directions and the angles about it. So the role of IMA is basically fundamental to control the exoskeleton, and it will be used for activity detection, balance monitoring, and gait analysis. And basically it will be need for the accuracy. It is also there, because if there will be the direction is not proper, it will be, rather than helping the person, it will damage the limbs of the person. Or even if the time delay is more, then it will be maybe lagging or leading the human, so it will not be essential for the human to operate. So most of other things to control the motor of this exoskeleton, it is basically depends on the decision making of this exoskeleton to have the activity detection. So it is used mainly for the important role in human activity recognition. Limitation of this control approach, it don't capture long range temporal dependencies. So transformer approach is introduced here to eliminate the dependence on recurrent and convolution networks. So the proposed transformer architecture leverages self-attention mechanism to model complex temporal patterns without relying on recurrent or convolutional structures. By treating these IMU data sequences like video frames, transformer effectively capture long-range temporal dependencies, enhancing accuracy and generality in HR tasks. This architecture is tailored for IMU data involving pattern-based, patch-based input representation and a multi-head attention layer for processing sequences. So the complications, some challenges are involved here is noise and dimensionality. So IMU sensors are often use data with many dimensions, and these data may have noise from sensor errors or vibrations from outside sensors. Then sensor drift and interference. So long-term recordings are also affected by drift and magnetic interference, which causes measurements to change over the time. Then user variability. It is variations in user behavior, body composition, and movement patterns can diminish the generation ability to train models. Temporal dependencies, the annotation of sequence of data. It is also still to model long-term dependency, because IMU data is sequential and can last for different amount of time. So the transfer model approach, it is used for leveraging self-attention mechanism and to model complex temporal data pattern without relying on the recurrent convolution structures. The limitation of traditional DL methods are struggle to capture long-range temporal dependencies, and inspiration from video transformers. The transformer effectively models long-range temporal patterns. Attention mechanism captures complex motion dynamics. The proposed method treat IMU series data as temporal sequence frames, learning from fine-grained motion patterns over time using self-attention, adoption from IMU data, modified input representation, and reproduce model complexity for efficiency. So the methodology used here is raw IMU data, which has been taken over to the filtering and normalization, then segmentation into units, then path embedding, and transformer encoder. The diagram showing the HRF number works with the IMU data is shown here. So it has, so the dataset used here are two sets dataset are used here. The exoskeleton IMU dataset using 5 different IMU axes using HR and payload estimations. So the here even activity recognitions are like bending, standing, lowering or upkeeping, and the payload estimations are different payloads are been given like 5 kg, 10 kg, 15 kg payloads are there. Different IMU sets are in 5 different IMU sets are used on the thighs and the arms and the chest. So 5 different IMUs are at different places, and these data are used from this to for the payload estimation. And one more data set is used with PAMPs too, where the physical activity monitoring data sets are there. So 9 subjects are used here. The 3 IMUs and heart rate monitors are used to this. So in the second dataset, there are more entities like lying, sitting, standing, walking. Some different 18 different cases are used here. So these two datasets are used for the architecture with the CNN and LSTM, and it is compared with the HR farmer. So it has been both the matrices like accuracy and FN score as considered to find out whether which architecture is better performing in these conditions. So coming to the FN score and accuracies, it has been seen that in the first dataset where the 5 IMUs are used, the CNN and LSTM models are accuracy is lesser, and in both the accuracy and FN score, the HR farmer, it is the accuracy comes to be 97.12 for payload estimation and 95.51 of the intention detection. And similarly, the FN score is for payload estimation is 0.9713 and intention is 0.9551. The second dataset where PIMP is two dataset is used. Here also the HR format has acted in the both acted in the HR format result is outperformed both CNN and LSTM with accuracy is 83.31% and F1 score is 0.8451%. So coming to the conclusion, thus it is like proposed a transformer-based architecture for both IMU and HR detection. It is conducted comparative evaluation to the benchmark dataset, that is IMU dataset and PMPs2. Experimental results show the superior performance both CNN and LSTM models. So it has seen that HR farmer for the both accuracy and FN score is better compared to the CNN and LSTM models. Key strength of this approach is that it models global temporal dependencies, captures multi-sensor interact effectively. The future work includes the cross-domain transfer learning and improve generation to unseen activities like when the basically it will for the upper associations designing and control. Thank you.
Nice presentation, sir. My question is that, hello,
Yes. Yes.
what type of attention mechanism are used in transformer?
Yeah. Manti, can you answer this question?
Yes, so basically the self-attention is used. If you see the architecture in that transformer block, the self-attention is used, but it is attending to different data set, so different patches of data from all the IMU. So the global attention that is being used here is giving the edge over the CNN or LSTM this model.
What is the size of your data set?
Size is, I mean, the different here. So, for example, the PMAP2 dataset, it is having 18 different physical activities. So there are, I mean, the data is sampled at 100 hertz. So there are close to 20 to 30,000 datasets. And but it dataset basically because it's a single IMU data on a time series data. So now how we are patching. So then that means up to how much how many samples we are considering as a single data, that will vary upon that. So data set size will depend upon how many patches you are using.
One more question is that how your model handle subject variability?
Yes, sir. So basically, if, as you see, the PMF2 and the exoskeleton, they are based on multiple individuals. So the first data set is on 5 individuals and PMF2 and 9 individuals. So we are considering the attention is considering all the global, I mean, global attention on all the people. So it is not a person specific. So that way, it is able to generalize to when we are talking about the test set accuracy, we can see that our proposed model is performing better as compared to the other models. So that means it is able to generalize to other on same data as compared to CNN and LSTM model.
Last question is that how your approach improve performance as compared to traditional HAR methods?
So if we see the I mean the first data set, the paper was published in Nature. So there they had compared against traditional methods versus CNN and LSTM based methods, and they found that the deep learning based methods perform better because they are able to provide a more nuanced correlationship among the data set. So our method is able to, that's why we have compared against CNN and LSTM, and you're able to see that our method is performing even better than them.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir, for your presentation. Moving forward, I would like to just a second invite Ma'am Libby Ilhan to kindly present her paper titled Phishing on Public Wi-Fi, a Cyber Kill Chain Framework Approach to User Vulnerability. Do we have you here with us, ma'am?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I'll just stop presenting. Yes. Can you share your screen? Yes, we can see your screen. You may start.
Good morning, everyone. So I am Libby Chofilo, and on behalf of my co-authors and King's College of the Philippines, it is an honor to present our research titled Phishing on Public Wi-Fi, a Cyber Kill Chain Framework Approach to User Vulnerability. This research was conducted as a field study in Baguio City and La Trinidad, Benguet, where public Wi-Fi connectivity is widely used but seldom scrutinized for security risks. Our study applies a cyber kill chain framework to examine how evil twin attacks unfold and assess the level of user susceptibility in real-world settings. The findings contribute to a deeper understanding of credential phishing and support the development of strategies combining user awareness and technological standards. So, public Wi-Fi usage continues to rise globally with 5.56 billion internet users in 2025 and approximately 72% relying on public hotspots for work, school, and communication. Yet, studies indicate that 30 to 50% of users connect to open Wi-Fi without verifying legitimacy, and 1 in 4 individuals globally has encountered phishing while using public networks. In the Philippine context, despite the Department of Information and Communications Technology or DICT's ongoing awareness initiatives, phishing incidents exceeded 4.5 million in 2022, ranking the country fifth in Southeast Asia. These figures illustrate that phishing is diverse, adaptive, and persistent, particularly within public Wi-Fi environments where users remain highly exposed. This underscores the need to examine how and why users become susceptible, especially under evil twin attack conditions where fake SSIDs redirect users to trusted-looking login portals. Although prior studies discuss these threats conceptually, there remains a notable gap in empirical, real-world behavioral evidence. Thus, experimental field data is needed to quantify user susceptibility and inform mitigation strategies addressing both technical and behavioral dimensions. With these considerations in mind, the study proceeded with the following objectives. So first, to evaluate the susceptibility of credential phishing in public Wi-Fi environments in Baguio City and La Trinidad using a cyber kill chain. And second, to identify gaps in awareness and device-level defenses and propose actionable recommendations. We frame these objectives within the cyber kill chain not only to observe whether users fall for attacks, but to determine where in the attack sequence behavioral failure occurs. These objectives guided both our methodology and analysis. So to address those objectives, we conducted a live field study across selected public Wi-Fi locations in Baguio City and La Trinidad. The cyber kill chain framework structured both our experiment and our analysis. So rather than remaining conceptual, each cyber kill chain phase was operationalized in the field to safely emulate attacker behavior. This allowed us to observe how user actions advance through the kill chain, including reconnaissance, with passively detecting devices within range, weaponization, crafting a deceptive login interface and configuring the rogue access points, delivery and exploitation, user connection and triggering portal redirection, installation, submission of inputs on the phishing page, command and control and action on objectives, simulated back-end capture and evaluation of interaction outcomes. This operationalization enabled us to understand where user actions aligned with attacker objectives. We deployed evil twin access points that emulated legitimate Wi-Fi SSIDs. So upon connection, users were redirected to a Facebook-style captive portal. So we selected Facebook because it represents a familiar authentication environment among Filipino users, thereby enhancing ecological validity. And importantly, no real credential harvesting occurred. So although back-end mechanisms simulated how an attacker would capture data, the system stored only anonymous behavioral indicators such as the number of detected devices, number of users who connected, number of who attempted login, and the interaction timestamps only. So no personally identifiable information was stored or transmitted, ensuring ethical compliance and data integrity. This configuration enabled us to measure vulnerability without compromising privacy and to observe behavioral outcomes that allowed us to quantify susceptibility and victimization trajectories under real Wi-Fi conditions. Now, allow me to present our key findings. Okay, so across our deployment locations, we identified a total of 1,440 users within Wi-Fi range. Of these 1,440, 322 individuals voluntarily interacted with the rogue access point, reflecting a 22.4% susceptibility rate. So it is slightly higher than the 21% global average reported in a meta-analysis on phishing susceptibility. So this suggests that user vulnerability in our field setting is at or marginally above global baselines. When we examine victimization behavior, there's the actual credential submission attempts. We recorded 75 individuals, representing 23.3% of the susceptible users and approximately 5.2% of the total individuals observed. So this conversion rate aligns with large-scale industry simulations, where phishing victimization commonly ranges from 5% to 10% of exposed populations. The 322 individuals who connected to the fake Wi-Fi are susceptible or vulnerable. But once they enter their credentials attempting login, they are already considered as victims. These patterns mirror findings from previous studies, which shows that convenience frequently outweighs caution, where users under time pressure often disregard security warnings when offered free or familiar Wi-Fi networks. In short, our results support the argument that security becomes secondary when users face pressing connectivity needs. Another notable observation is the transition speed. Several users progress from initial connection to attempted credential entry in as little as 1 to 2 minutes. This indicates a behavioral vulnerability window in which impulse overrides judgment, creating opportunities for attackers long before cognitive or technical safeguards activate. So to put these numbers in simple terms, 1 in 5 Wi-Fi users are at risk. So approximately 1 in 5 public Wi-Fi users displayed measurable susceptibility to phishing within real-world environments. In dense public areas, this represents a substantial attack surface requiring minimal attacker effort. When mapped to the cyber kill chain, failure occurred most clearly at the delivery and exploitation stages where users willingly engaged with the deceptive Wi-Fi and portal. This highlights an important insight. Phishing success in public Wi-Fi environment is not primarily technical. It is behavioral. Therefore, mitigation cannot rely solely on information campaigns or awareness messaging. It requires behavior-responsive interventions that interrupt normalized trust assumptions and reinforce decision-making under connectivity pressure. Building on these insights, we formulated the following recommendations. First, deliver stronger device alerts. Device manufacturers such as Apple, Samsung, Google, etc. should enhance visibility of unsecured network warnings. So more proficient and user-friendly cues such as icons, vibration, feedback, or pop-up prompts may help flag captive portals and open networks more effectively. Second, platforms should normalize multi-factor authentication or MFA as a default or strongly recommended option. Third, users must adopt zero trust thinking, recognizing that neither login
This is a
interfaces nor
10-minute reminder.
SSID are inherently trustworthy. Systems should be designated to require verification and users to be educated in digital skepticism. Fourth, there is a need for targeted awareness initiatives addressing SSID spoofing and credential phishing. There should be campaigns tailored to youth, remote workers, and older adults, the groups that historically show to exhibit higher susceptibility. Finally, operating system developers such as Microsoft, Android, and iOS should integrate just-in-time education, which are brief prompts explaining phishing risks when connecting to open networks. So these recommendations broaden cybersecurity from technical defense to behavioral resilience, supporting SDG-aligned goals of secure and sustainable digital ecosystems. So moving forward, several opportunities for research expansion emerge. So first, the study could be replicated across other regions, socioeconomic context, and cultural environments to determine whether the observed susceptibility levels are localized or reflect broader behavioral patterns. Second, future work may explore additional phishing vectors such as smishing, phishing, QR code phishing, or hybrid campaigns to capture a wider spectrum of user vulnerabilities. Third, countermeasures should be experimentally evaluated. So MFA activation, zero trust interaction flows, and stronger Wi-Fi authentication procedures to assess which controls meaningfully reduce compromise. Fourth, further investigation into behavioral risk factors such as urgency, convenience, and habit-driven decision-making would deepen our understanding of why users fall for phishing. Finally, research outcomes should continue to inform policy, device design, and user training, supporting resilience at both technical and behavioral levels. A limitation of this study is that only aggregate behavioral data were captured. While this strengthened ethical compliance, it constrained explanatory depth and prevented demographic segmentation. Nevertheless, the findings provide empirical insight into how users behave under real attack conditions. To conclude, public Wi-Fi is not inherently unsafe, but trust, convenience, and urgency make the users unsafe. If we aspire to have a resilient and sustainable digital societies, we must design systems and experiences that protect users not only from attackers, but from their own behavioral vulnerabilities. Okay, that's all. Thank you very much.
Nice presentation, Ms. Libby.
Thank you.
The question is that what type of phishing attack are most common on public Wi-Fi, and how do attacker exploit network weakness to deliver them?
So the most common one is the method that we used. It is the evil twin attack. So let me go back in the slide. So we created a fake Wi-Fi So we have another device to spoof this legitimate Wi-Fi. And when the users connect, the captive portal. So this fake Facebook login will pop up on the user's device. So the users can or cannot, depending on them, if they will enter their credentials.
Any technical indicator can be used to detect or prevent phishing on insecure Wi-Fi.
The current ones that we observed is that some manufacturers will notify you that you are connecting to an unsecured Wi-Fi, but the users or the people will just ignore those alerts and continue to connect to the sketchy Wi-Fi.
Any limitation of your project?
So the limitation is that because we are we made our research ethical, is that we only have very limited data, so we didn't capture any credentials. So and we only use anonymous behavioral data and did not store, transmit, or use credentials so that it will align with the ethical principles for non-intrusive passive observation where no individual is identified and no risk was imposed.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for your presentation. Uh, Next up, I would like to invite Sir Jason Tamayo to kindly present his paper titled Security Defense Mechanisms in Model Context Protocol Implementations, a Systematic Literature Review. Do we have you here with us, sir?
Yes, ma'am. I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I'll just stop the screen sharing. Yes.
Okay. Let me share my screen.
Yeah. Yes, your screen is visible. You may start.
Okay. Good morning. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Jason Tamayo, and I'm proud to present my research paper entitled Security Defense Mechanisms in MCP Implementations, Systematic Literature Review. In this presentation, I will discuss the findings of my systematic literature review on security defense mechanisms in MCP implementations. As MCP has rapidly become a critical layer, enabling large language models or LLMs to interact with external tools and data sources, ensuring its security has become increasingly important. This study synthesizes current evidence, identifies defense categories, and highlights research gaps to support the development of more secure MCP-enabled systems. The introduction establishes the context for this review by emphasizing how MCP expanded the operational capabilities of large language models beginning in 2024. While this expansion allows LLMs to integrate powerful tools and data sources, it also creates new attack surfaces that adversaries can exploit. Recent studies have documented vulnerabilities such as prompt injection, supply chain manipulation, and malicious tool invocation. This motivates a systematic evaluation of the available defense mechanisms. For the research objectives, this study is guided by two primary research objectives. The first one is to identify and categorize all proposed MCP security defenses across academic and technical literature. Second, to evaluate the empirical evidence supporting their effectiveness across different threat models, attack vectors, and deployment context. For the methodology, I followed Prisma 2020 guidelines for this literature review to ensure transparency and reproducibility. The search initially identified 1,247 records across multiple databases and gray literature sources. After removing the duplicates and applying screening criteria, 73 studies met all inclusion requirements. This structured approach ensures that the review synthesizes only high-quality evidence relevant to MCP security defenses. Also, I also use PICO framework to structure the research questions. PICO stands for Population, Intervention, Comparison, and Outcomes. For the population, it includes MCP implementations and deployments. For the intervention, it refers to various security defense mechanisms such as scanning tools, runtime guardrails, access control frameworks, and formal verification methods. For the comparison, it involves baselines and alternative approaches, while outcomes focus on the measurable indicators such as the detection rate, false positives, and performance overhead. Let's go to the results. For the publication trends, the results indicate that MCP security research is a very recent but rapidly developing field. Nearly 80% of the included studies were published in 2025, that is this year, reflecting an accelerated response following MCP's introduction. Most publications appeared in preprint repositories like Archive, suggesting that research is still maturing and has not yet fully transitioned to peer-reviewed venues. US, China, and UK have the most numbers of included studies. This systematic literature review identified four major defense categories across the literatures. Number one is the static analysis. Second, runtime guardrails, access control frameworks, and formal verification techniques. These categories encompass 12 sub-approaches. Establishing this taxonomy allow for a clearer understanding of how different studies relate to one another and highlights where research is concentrated or lacking. So let's go to the first major defense category, static analysis. Static analysis defenses focus on detecting vulnerabilities prior to runtime. So there are 39 studies under this major defense category. This include code scanning, configuration validation, and dependency analysis. They are particularly effective for mitigating supply chain related risk, as they can detect vulnerable or malicious packages before deployment. However, they are limited in addressing dynamic attack vectors such as prompt injection. For the runtime guardrails, there are 59 studies under this defense category. Runtime guardrails represent the most extensively studied category. These include input and output filtering, 23 studies, behavioral monitoring, 16 studies, rate limits, 11, anomaly detection, 8. They're effective at mitigating prompt injection and emergent behavioral threats because they observe and regulate system interactions in real time. Their limitation lies in potential performance overhead when complex monitoring is applied. For the access control, there are 32 studies under this defense category. Access control frameworks enforce structured authorization boundaries within MCP systems. Approaches include role-based access control, or RBAC, context-aware authorization, and least privilege enforcement. This category demonstrated the highest overall detection rates, especially in preventing privilege escalation attacks. These systems benefit from low runtime costs, making them very practical for production environments. Next, for the last defense category, formal verification, there are 10 studies under this. So formal verification approaches aim to mathematically prove the correctness and security of MCP operations. This include protocol verification and tool composition safety. Although few studies currently use these techniques, they provide the strongest guarantees when applied. Their limited adoption is due to the complexity and time required to produce formal proofs. And to answer the second research objective, which is the empirical evidence of the effectiveness, the analysis shows that access control frameworks achieve the highest mean detection rate at around 92%, followed by runtime guardrails and static analysis tools. Formal verification achieve perfect results, but only within narrow, formally defined scopes. Importantly, layered defenses or defense in depth configurations consistently outperform single mechanisms, achieving effectiveness levels between 88 and 98%. For the research, for the research gaps that were identified in this review, over 93% of studies relied on custom evaluation setups, indicating that there is no or there's absence of standardized benchmarking frameworks for MCPs. Comparative studies are rare, making it very difficult to assess the relative strengths of different defenses. Additionally, many studies lack reproducibility or real-world validation, limiting their practical applicability. So for the conclusion, this systematic literature review provides the first comprehensive synthesis of MCP security defenses. The findings emphasize the importance of integrating multiple defense strategies to achieve robust security. This study also highlights the urgent need for standardized benchmarks, more rigorous empirical evaluations, and broader real-world testing. These contributions establish a foundational reference for advancing MCP security research. That ends my presentation. Thank you.
Nice presentation, Jason, sir.
Thank
Nice.
you, sir.
My question is that what are the main security threat identified in MCP implementation and how they are different from traditional API-based threat?
There are different and common MCP attacks, such as tool poisoning, unsafe tool chaining, and context manipulation. These are different from APIs because MCPs do not run on APIs directly, but they provide bridge between the LLMs and other applications such as APIs, databases, and other systems.
Another question is that what core defense mechanism were identified for securing MCP implementations?
One significant finding of my study is that there is no single defense mechanism that is sufficient to secure MCP systems.
Okay.
The highest effectiveness came from layered defense in-depth strategies, which means to achieve like 98% of the mitigation across the threat categories, there should be multiple security and defense frameworks that must be implemented.
Any limitation of your project? Any limitation?
What is that again, sir?
Any limitation?
For the limitation of this research, yes, yes. There is lack of standardized benchmarks in the existing literature, which prevented me to directly compare or provide comparison for across studies. Additionally, most studies relied on proof of concept implementations only rather than testing them on the production environments, which limits the generalizability.
Okay, okay. And the last question is that how do current defense mechanism balance security with usability and performance in MCB-based applications?
Um, Based on the literature review, there are defense categories that are efficient and fast, and there are also some, for example, let me just go back to my slide. For example, the most efficient defense category here is the static analysis, while the formal verification is the most difficult and time consuming to implement.
What is your data set? Size of data set?
The size of the number of papers, 1,073 studies.
Oh, studies. Okay, okay, okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your presentation. Moving forward, I would like to invite Sir Randy Joy to kindly present his paper titled The Current Trends in Business Operations of Multimedia Production with the Aid of Intelligent Systems. Do we have you here with us, sir?
Yes, I'm here, ma'am. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Can you please share your screen?
Yeah, just wait, just wait. Okay, how about this one? Can you see?
Yes, yes, yes. Yes, it's visible.
Can you see the slide now?
I can see your slide one.
Okay,
Yes.
I think I no need to full screen. It might go lag. Okay. So good afternoon, everyone. My name is Randy Joy Magno Bentayan. I'm representing UNITAR International University of Malaysia, and I'm here to present the paper, The Current Trends and Business Operations of Multimedia Production with the aid of intelligence system. In simple terms, AI is no longer just an editing tool. It's becoming a partner, or it's already a creative partner, and it also affects how videos are planned, produced, and delivered. So, but let me clear, this doesn't erase traditional filmmaking. Storytelling, taste, timing, and human judgment are still the backbone. So, what AI does is speed up the grind, such as the pre-production, planning, editing, enhancement, and even content generation. Okay. So, for the introduction, the paper highlights how the 21st century has become a point where creative art and machine intelligence converge, and it's happening inside the video production workflows. Before AI, most of the computers, before AI was mostly a computer science thing, and now it's showing up beside directors, editors, and cinematographers in real production and environments. So, what does that look like in practice? AI can help recognize patterns in narrative structure, assist with visual simulation like light and color, and support the creation of asset that can appear extremely realistic. That's why this paper, not just a tech upgrade, but it's a cultural transformation that reshape creativity itself. And here's the real life implication. The production teams face pressure to deliver more content faster across the platform, and AI promises speed and efficiency, but also uh, but also introduce a new question about ownership and responsibility. Okay, I hope you can see my slide. And for the objective of this study, there are four objectives. The first is to identify AI application across the full production pipeline. That means from early planning and scripting all the way to cross-production and delivery. And second is analyze some emerging tools and platforms that enable creative automation. And the third is evaluate impacts on authorship, originality, and workforce dynamic. And the fourth one is to propose ethical and educational recommendations for sustainable integration. And for the methodology, the paper used integrated meta-analysis of Scholarly Works Index and Scopus from 2019 to 2025 and examined AI technologies within the film and video production domain. And the design follows the PRISMA framework, adaptive for qualitative synthesis. The intent is to aggregate and interpret how AI function as both technological and cultural agent in contemporary filmmaking. And this is the big picture across the literature review. AI value shows up in three business operation suites. First one is AI can reduce time spent on repetitive production tasks, so team can iterate faster and deliver more consistently. This matters a lot of modern multimedia operations where deadlines are brutal and platform demands don't stop. And the second one is the quality support. AI can assist enhance tasks, think better consistency in edits, faster refinement loops, and support for creative testing. It doesn't replace taste, but it can speed up trying options. And the access and democratization when used, AI lowers barriers. Smaller teams can attempt things that previously required bigger budgets and larger crews. But the paper also makes it clear that AI can disrupt how we definitely define originality, and it creates workplace shift. So AI is powerful, but if you deploy with the zero rules, you're basically inviting legal and ethical headaches. So across the 62 sources, the literature converged on 5 interblocking dynamics that frame the current evolution of computational cinema. Okay, for the next one, here are some of the 5 recommendations to balance the innovation with integrity and study proposed 5 link recommendations. The first one is institutionalize AI literacy. Film and creative programs should teach generative tools, data ethics, and even prompt design, creating hybrid storytellers who understand narrative and computation. And second one is harmonize legal framework. The paper points to the need for cross-jurisdiction guidelines like through the international bodies such as WIPO. So authorship and rights aren't the total mess when AI assisted in production. And the third one is mandatory transparency and fairness. So studio using AI should implement the explainability checks and fairness metrics to ensure ethical deployment. And the fourth one is promote cultural diversity and open access, support multilingual, open data sets that preserve regional aesthetics and reduce some of the bias from other countries. And the last one is advance sustainable infrastructure, invest in energy efficient computing and transparent carbon reporting. And if you want future ready production, sustainability has to be part of the plan. And for the conclusion, AI is now a backbone of contemporary video production. And for the recommendation is we need to implement training workshop on editorial and a professional remain on decision makers as an AI tool, not as a boss. And the classic filmmaking still matters. AI just changes the speed on the scale. The win is keep humans accountable for creative direction and ethics. So thank you very much and good afternoon.
Hello. Hello.
Sir.
I'm audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
My question is that how are intelligent system transforming traditional multimedia production pipelines, and what stages are most impacted by automation?
As of the moment, sir, the support of artificial intelligence is not just in the part of pre-production, but also in editing. There's a lot of users and film producers now are using it from the pre-production process, such as story writing. It can generate scripts, and on the part of production process, it can also generate some loops that it requires limited human inputs. And as of the moment is we are currently using it. But the challenges is here is about the ethical considerations. And since artificial intelligence is here, it used a previous data from the other sources. So this is really the real challenge, as stated in the findings of the paper.
And what challenges do multimedia companies face when integrated AI ML tool into existing production environment?
Okay, one of the challenges is it could be they might face a lawsuit in case that they don't declare where is the sources of those generated videos, because as part of the process, several studies also state that some of the producers create videos from prompts without any and those videos came from the previous videos that was trained by the intelligence system. So the real challenge here is about the ethical responsibility, the use of responsive use of the video production with the use of intelligence system. That's the major concern.
The last question is that any idea about reshape business operations?
Pardon, sir?
Any idea about reshape business operations?
Actually, it's a very good question, sir. As of the moment, because of this intelligent system, the business entrepreneurs in the video industry might face challenge because of the artificial intelligence. Everyone can create a video, so this might open a huge competition not only for the producers but also to other content creators that just using this technology.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so much, sir, for your presentation. Moving forward, I will just a second. I would like to again call Miss Ravina to present her paper titled An Integrated Spatio-Temporal Feature-Based Approach for Robust Deepfake Detection. Are you here with us, ma'am? Are any of the other members from the team available? Since no one is responding, I'll be moving forward. I would also like to call again Ma'am Haripriya R to present her paper titled Edge AI and Fuzzy Logic Framework for Adaptive Traffic Signal Control using Real-Time Video and IoT Sensors. Do we have you here with us, ma'am? Is anyone else from the team available? All right, since no one is responding, we will conclude the session for today here. Thank you so much, everyone. I sincerely thank our authors. I'm sorry, am I visible?
Yes, you are visible.
Yes. I sincerely thank all the authors for their excellent presentations and contribution in this session, and all our participants for being a part of this international conference. I hope this session was informative enough, and we, on behalf of the whole team, thank you for the support during this version of the conference. We will be happy to have you in the next version in 2026 as well. All the presenters would be getting their digital certificates through email within 2 working days. The publication will be live within 7 to 8 months. Kindly cooperate with the team of MCT4SD 2025. I would also like to thank Session Chair Dr. Ajay Kumar
Thank you.
for his excellent contribution during this session. And here's a small token of appreciation for you, sir, on behalf of the team MCT4SD 2025 and Global Knowledge Research Foundation and partners. Thank you so much for joining us and sharing this session.
Thank you.
I request you if you have any closing remarks for the participants before I conclude the session.
Okay, I think uh, thank you all. I think total out of eight, seven, six presentations are done, huh? For
Yeah.
sharing such insightful and impactful work. Your contribution truly enrich this session. My appreciation also goes to moderator for ensuring smooth and timely proceedings. And a special thank to Dr. Amit Joshi sir for his constant guidance and support, and also our conference secretary for their excellent coordination throughout this event. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your kind words. And thank you, everyone, for your valuable presence. I now kindly request you all to open your cameras so that we can take a quick snapshot before concluding this meeting.
Okay.
Has everyone opened their videos? Yes, just a second. All right, I will be clicking the snapshot now. 1, 2, 3.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. It was great having you. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Dr.
Bye.
Kum. Bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.